Greetings! This is a review of the week's major events in the armed forces of Ukraine. Defense forces stopped the enemy's advance in the Pokrovsk area. Russian invaders attempted to break through the defenses on several fronts simultaneously. According to information from the 7th Rapid Response Corps of the Air Assault Forces, the enemy attacked on the approaches of Hryshina and attempted to break through the Rodinsky in the Myrnograd area. In total, while repelling the two attacks, Ukrainian defenders destroyed approximately 50 invaders and their equipment. The village of Berezove in Dnipropetrovsk Oblast is under Ukrainian control. This is the result of operations carried out by units of the 95th Separate Air Assault Brigade of Polisia of the Air Assault Forces. Berezove is located 3 kilometers from the border between Dnipropetrovsk, Donetsk and Zaporizhia regions, where Russian invaders conducted active offensive operations last year. The defense forces continue to relentlessly liberate Ukrainian territory from the occupiers, thanks to the courage and innovative tactics of our soldiers. As noted by General Alexander Syrsky, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, since the start of the operation, control has been regained over about 470 square kilometers of territory, and more than 11,000 invaders have been neutralized. In recent days, the occupiers have concentrated their main offensive on the Pokrovsk and Alexandrivsk sectors. Despite deploying significant reserves, the Russian command failed to accomplish its objectives. Ukrainian soldiers halted the offensive on several fronts. The Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, while in the southern operational area, held a meeting with the command of our offensive group, as well as the commanders of assault and air assault units. They discussed options for further action and coordinated the interaction of units within their areas of responsibility. Russia plans to deploy additional ground control stations for long-range drones in the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine and in Belarus. This was announced by the President of Ukraine following a report from the Chief of the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. According to the report, 4 such stations are to be deployed in Belarus. The President promised a response from Ukraine. Ukraine and NATO are expanding their cooperation in the areas of counter-drone defense, the exchange of combat experience, and the development of innovative technologies. As noted by the Ministry of Defense, Ukraine is ready to share its unique insights from modern warfare and integrate them into joint projects with its partners. During a meeting with the Supreme Allied Commander Transformation of NATO, they discussed development of cost-effective and accessible solutions for countering aerial threats, including the use of interceptor drones as part of layered air defense system. The President of Ukraine reported on the initial results of Ukraine's support in defending against Iranian drones in the Gulf countries. According to him, Ukrainian experts are in daily contact with their colleagues from these countries. Volodymyr Zelensky added that only with Ukraine is real stability and security possible. At least 4 civilians were killed and dozens wounded as a result of massive nighttime attack by the Russian Federation on Ukraine. On Monday night, the enemy attacked Zaporizhia with drones and ballistic missiles. There are casualties. 20 multi-story buildings in the city were damaged. There are casualties and destruction as a result of the Russian attack in Poltava as well. And in the Kharkiv region, an enemy drone struck an electric train, killing a passenger. The terrorist state continued its massive drone attack on the afternoon of March 24, when the enemy launched nearly 1,000 drones at Ukraine. Over 900 were shot down. The Ukrainian Air Forces called this attack one of the most massive. Explosions were heard in Lviv, Vinnytsia, Ivano-Frankivsk and Ternopil. There were many casualties. In Lviv, the church complex of Bernardine Monastery was damaged, and in Ivano-Frankivsk, a maternity hospital was hit. Meanwhile, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported strikes against a number of high-value enemy targets. In particular, the Kyiv oil refinery in the Leningrad region, one of the 3 largest in Russia supplying fuel to the Russian military, was struck. In the same region, an oil terminal on the Novotek Ust-Luga plant, used for the export and transportation of petroleum products, were also hit. And also an oil refinery in the city of Ufa, in the temporarily occupied Luhansk region. Defense forces struck a Tor-M1 anti-aircraft missile system. In the Donetsk region, they struck enemy ammunition depots and a command post. In the Luhansk region, they struck 2 depots of logistic supplies and the location of repair unit. On Thursday night, the defense forces struck the Russian Valdai radar complex in the temporarily occupied Crimea. Notably, the complex was designed to detect and counter small-sized drones. In addition, our forces captured the Russian combat icebreaker Purga in the Leningrad Oblast. The ship was struck at the Vyborg shipyard. Defense forces disabled 2 enemy Buk surface-to-air missile systems, launcher from the Bastion coastal missile system, and a number of other pieces of equipment and key military facilities belonging to the invaders. On March 26, we celebrated Ukrainian National Guard Day. National Guard soldiers are holding back the enemy on the front lines, protecting critical infrastructure, and countering sabotage threats, noted National Guard Commander Major General Alexander Pivnenko. Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine General Alexander Syrsky congratulated National Guard servicemen on their professional holiday. He added that National Guard units have become an integral part of the defense forces and reliable brothers in arms of the armed forces of Ukraine. This week we continue to commemorate the liberation of the Kyiv region from Russian occupation. On March 23, 2022, the encirclement of Russian troops in the Irpin, Bucha and Hostomel areas was completed. The armed forces of Ukraine have taken the main enemy withdrawal routes under fire control. March 24 was marked by the armed forces finally gaining the upper hand. On March 25, the Russian command officially announced for the first time the completion of the first phase of so-called operation and its intention to focus on the Donbass. This was the first public signal of the defeat near Kyiv. And on the 27th, Ukrainian defenders completed preparations for the final liberation of Kyiv's key satellite cities. The front line was finally stabilized, enemy forces began a large-scale withdrawal from their positions, effectively reversing their advance toward the Belarusian border. That was a recap of the week's major events in the armed forces of Ukraine. Stay safe.